Welcome, everybody. So today we're having a special session with Devi Mohan, who needs no introduction. We all know her as Mohanji's wife, president of ACT Foundation Global. She's a mom. She's a healer, amazing dancer. She's been to Kailash 3 times, and she had great insights on it. We had done an interview with Devi Mohan last year, which is on our YouTube channel. But today she brings greater insights into the Kailash mysteries that we may miss with our naked eyes. So she has a little presentation for us, which she would like to present. And is our this is a great opportunity for people who have been to Kailash before, who are going there for the first time, to hear the mysteries of things that we cannot see. So, welcome, Devi Mohan. And
Thank you, Bhavani.
let's start with what you have to share because I'm excited to hear anything that is about Kailash. So, please,
Yes.
please continue.
Okay, so Kailash is a very special topic, and I really do feel that images are of great importance because certain things about Kailash are too amazing to be believed unless you actually see it. So that's why I wanted to start with this presentation. I will be referring to my own experiences, but also to certain facts about Kailash. We should always distinguish about our own beliefs or convictions and whatever is objectively the truth. But when it comes to spiritual experience, it's very difficult to be objective. I would like to use this presentation as a way to convey my own insight about the importance of Kailash. Like, why do we actually go there? What is the significance of this pilgrimage and what changes in us when we go there? Because I feel that this experiential side is far more important, but it also helps to understand certain facts about Kailash. Because when I went first time, I didn't know any of this that I'm going to speak about today. And my experience of Kailash was completely different when I actually knew about it. That's why I thought the viewers would find this useful. So I'll just share my presentation. So very often we see the image of Kailash um, as the mountain itself. Just a moment.
Actually, wanted to share something with you that after we did the interview last year, the insights that I got from you, it actually helped my journey as well last year. So I'm really grateful that you're doing this for the viewers and the participants who are going with us for the first time. And many were asking for this experience sharing. And even though we have a lot of information, I think coming from a person who has deeper insights would truly help them. So thank you for doing this. I think universe brought this for them. I feel from my heart. So when you reached out, I was like, wow, amazing. So let's start.
Yeah, I would like to start with this most amazing image of Kailash Parvat. So when we say Kailash, we usually just say Kailash, but it is actually Kailash Parvat, right? It represents the crown chakra of Mother Earth. And we know that the ultimate aim of our spiritual journey, what Carl Gustav Jung called the individuation, and what we call in spiritual language the enlightenment. So enlightenment can happen only once Kundalini reaches the crown, right? So the divine energy in us when it reaches the crown. And what happens at the crown is the actual marriage or merging of Shiva and Shakti. So the symbol of Shiva is the lingam, and we see that here the Kailash mountain itself has that shape. And around we see this gigantic yoni, right? And that is the really inspiring image to see. And many people have not seen it. So that's why I want to start with that one. This is unique to Kailash Parvat. So nowhere in the world will you find this powerful divine message of union of sacred masculine and sacred feminine in the crown region, right? Which is the Kailash. So this image itself symbolizes our highest spiritual achievement. And it is right here on earth. Many people believe that Kailash Parvat connects different dimensions. It is not just a mountain, right? So it is literally like a pillar of consciousness. So we'll explore that topic further, but definitely going to a place like this is where we give a message to our own system that my own spiritual awakening is my highest goal in this lifetime. And I'm ready, for any challenge it may take, right? So that's why when we go to a place like this, when we go with that attitude, Kailash will support us in our endeavor of spiritual awakening. And some of the scientists have claimed this in amazing ways. I will get to that topic. So much so that it was called the city of gods. So this route that we take around Kailash is designed to support us greatly on our path of spiritual awakening, to actually bring us into that space. Okay. So this lingam and yoni, this is how it looks in India since ancient Vedic times. Lingam is worshipped. In physical terms, many people do not refer to this out of the shaming kind of aspect of the sensuality and sexuality, but lingam in yoni like this represents a male sexual organ inside female. So this is lingam inside of the yoni, right? So this is what it represents. And it also represents the sacredness of the intimacy between a man and a woman. Plus, it signifies the actual shape of a lingam as the first shape of creation. As Mohanji always refers to the shape that contains highest energy, which is why the nuclear reactor would always be made in that shape. And yoni is this most fascinating shape that points inward. So the male sexual organ points outward. The female has same acupuncture points, but they're pointed inward. And the point of union, not just sexual, but in terms of sacred dimension, what Carl Gustav Jung called anima and animus, this is what this represents. But in spiritual terms, we have Ida and Pingala Nadi, we have Shushumna in the middle, and the dance of Kundalini going up and meeting at the crown. So we live at a time when we are coming back to the balance of sacred feminine and sacred masculine. And that's why I feel this is the message of Kailash Parvat as well. Okay, so the actual Kailash Yatra, which we will be going to for in August this year, starts at the place we call Yamadvara, the gate of death, where you leave the old version of yourself. Symbolically, you leave usually some item of yours, and you start walking with the spirit of new you, right? And we can see the route that you go for 3 days. This is how we will be walking. In the back, we can see the two magical lakes, Mansarovar Lake and Rakshastal. So I'll get to these topics. I found some amazing images of Kailash, and we can see Kailash from different angles, from different lights. See, it looks kind of different, right? But we have a fascinating fact that Kailash has 4 distinct faces. The most famous and most viewed and kind of most represented online would be the south face. But all 4 are particular and interesting. And during the yatra, you get to see all of them because you're taking the circle, right? So they all have kind of different shapes that literally look like different mountains. And nowhere in the world do you have this kind of a story that you have a mountain that has 4 different faces. You have a mountain from which 4 rivers flow in 4 cardinal directions. So Indus, Brahmaputra, I forgot the names now, the 4 major rivers. And this fact was written in Puranas, in the ancient scriptures in India, thousands of years back, before geologists and scientists found out that these 4 rivers actually flow in 4 cardinal directions from the mountain, right? Then you have this amazing Om sign, right? So you could say, oh, it's a coincidence that sometimes it comes, even the dot of the Om appears, right? So this is like so fascinating because you simply, this is the magic of Kailash. Then this is not some kind of AI created image. This is actually shown from satellites. You can find it on Google Earth. You can clearly see a smiling face, which is referred to as the face of Shiva. Then we have this swastika sign, which is the one of the most ancient signs revered by all four religions who actually consider Mountain Kailash sacred, which is the Hindus, Buddhist, Jainist, and Bon. And this powerful sign is right there. It's seen during on the south face of Kailash during the sunset time. I'll just show it without the sign, so you can see it's right there, right? And it's just fascinating how that game of shadows happens. If it's not sunset time, then it's not visible. Then another amazing fact about Kailash, just look at this, is that
Mm.
north face, which is supposed to be like all frozen, has more sunlight than the south face, which is normally nobody in the science world has an explanation. How does this even happen? But with Kailash, many miracles are possible. When we say that Kailash is a pyramid, here we can clearly see the demarcation. It's not like the pyramid like in Egypt from top to bottom, but it is definitely has that the demarcation line is fully aligned with the four signs of the world: north, south, east, and west, right? And they mentioned the four rivers. So this is too much to be a coincidence. And there are so many other stories. You can find them online. How it is located right at the navel of the world, at the very center of the globe, with the same distance of 6,666 kilometers from the north and the south, and from some major sacred sites like Stonehenge, Eastern Islands, and so forth. So Kailash has been around for millions of years, and it is not explicable how this kind of miraculous mountain has come to life, to be of this shape, to have all these characteristics. And the very fact that this is the only mountain that's not the tallest at all, it's only among the 100 tallest mountains, but nobody has ever climbed it. So Mount Everest, which is, we all know, the tallest peak on planet Earth, has been climbed by thousands of people, but with Kailash, it is considered sacred. Not so much by the Chinese. We know that there may be communists, they don't consider it sacred, but the Tibetans definitely do, the Hindus, Tibetans, Jains, and Bon, and all other people who are sensitive to energy, who are respectful, and who come there. You start to have experiences that you have not had anywhere in the world. And nobody was allowed to place their foot on Kailash. It's if you don't respect the sacredness of Kailash, you just don't end up with a good experience. So there are stories of people who tried climbing Kailash that suddenly they get some form of inner feeling they should not go further, or they get dizzy, or sudden snowstorm comes from nowhere, or many other mystical examples. There are expeditions from different parts of the world. First one, famous one, was from Siberia, where the people actually aged in weeks what they would have aged in months. So within like a year or so, they became old people, and that caused a lot of fascination in the world. Then Tibetan monks have confirmed that the nails and the hair grow much faster around certain parts of Kailash. And there's so many mystical stories. Then instruments don't work, so flights never go above Kailash. So the actual electromagnetic field component is mystical around Kailash. So all of it comes together as one big question sign. And definitely people who are revering it spiritually will simply say, in one word, it is sacred. You're not meant to step on it, right? And you're only meant to approach it as a mirror of consciousness, just like a guru, right? Guru Tattva. and you approach it with respect, you see a lot of truth about yourself being revealed to you when you go to this sacred energy, and you undergo tremendous cleansing and elevation spiritually if you are grateful, receptive, and open. So this is like these are like the facts of people who have been going to Kailash. Now, I wanted to start with our own experience a little bit. This was back in 2014, when my life changed completely. And I actually, inspired by Mohanji, I left the corporate life. And my trip to Kailash, the pilgrimage to Kailash, actually meant a new life for me. And it really was very, very transformative. So first thing that I noticed when first there were clouds, we couldn't see Kailash. Then we were with Mohanji at Mansarovar Lake and we prayed, and somebody gifted him this white hat and he was wearing his specs. And then when we saw Kailash, I was like, is this me? But I see this white hat and the specs and the beard. You can see it on from what it is from this view on the left side, right? And we all like, oh my God, it's right there. The white hat, the black specs, and the beard, and the nose. It's all visible. So that's where I wrote my blog, The Mirror Called Kailash, right? So Mohanji is definitely in that what we call in India Shaivik energy. He's a spiritual master of that. So Shiva energy in Kailash is very, very close, and he kind of merges with Kailash in unique ways. So one of his profound spiritual experiences, which he called the Shiva experience, that was his very first birthday after we met. So that was February 2008, was when the Vibhuti, the sacred ash, started coming from his head. When we were in the ashram of another Swami, there was this huge spiritual experience, and the Vibhuti came in the shape of Kailash, as you can see. And on his third eye, there was like this energy going around and then forming like a cobra on top, guarding the third eye. So here we see Mohanji in front of, I think this is west face of Kailash, right?
Yes.
And yeah, and a very deep imprint on his third eye. You can see that image. And overall, we've had so many profound experiences. They have been recorded in blogs. I have written The Mirror Called Kailash, so you can find Devi Mohan blog. And we have this book, The Inner Kora, Kailash with Mohanji. So there are many, many experiences of people. I will only touch upon some of them, but as you can see, everything about Kailash is so mystical, so beautiful, so different, that it really leaves you in the awe of the experience. Now, this was some of the moments from Kailash Yatra. You can see the Sherpas. They are very, very helpful, smiling Tibetans who are really, really helpful. Without them, you would not be able to walk the Kora. Now, what happens? Why is this experience so unique and so challenging? It does not help to rely on muscles, on your days in the gym, on any of the physical components or physical qualities. What matters the most is how you approach Kailash. And that this has been my experience. I have seen, for example, I'll never forget the scene of one guy coming from Europe who was all built with muscles, and he's been for many days. And at some point, when he got hit by this high frequency energy of Kailash, which really brings out the painful impressions, the dirt, the stuff you need to cleanse, combined with high altitude sickness, which we all get, called the hypoxia, you feel a specific sensation in the body. Like I would feel like my legs are 100 kilos each. Your breath is very like slow, and you inhale, you feel you don't get enough oxygen, so you're a bit lightheaded. You can't bear to carry any weight, so backpacks and stuff out of question. That's why you need a Sherpa to help you out. It's really tough. And overall, you are brought into that standing in front of a mirror. You're brought to yourself. you start to face things within you. Certain fears will come out, certain impressions. And I find this experience a bit similar to when a woman delivers a child. You're not in a mood for any music, chit-chatting, nothing, you know? You're simply forced to be like completely there in the present moment, present with your breath, uh, maybe a short mantra to just get you into the groove. And that's the only way to go through this experience, really. It's at some parts of the journey, you may talk a little bit with some people, but generally, you feel like walking alone, you know? And that's where the real change happens in our consciousness, because at some point in life, we come to realize that the key aspect in our spiritual journey is to awaken the dimension of consciousness fully, to become aware of the witness within the dimension of consciousness that witnesses our thoughts, that witnesses everything that's happening, and yet is self-aware. You know, so once we become aware of this aspect within us, that's where the huge change happens, because that aspect of us remains even after the soul leaves the body, right? So if we can establish ourselves in that um, inner witness fully, and know the difference between the thoughts or impulses that come from higher consciousness and what comes from our mind and ego, then you start walking. So during Kailash Yatra, you get many chances to create this distinction within you, to become aware, you know. You are simply forced to be fully present. If you go as per thoughts, oh my God, how will I do this? I don't have the strength. You're done, you know, because you really are in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's gonna carry you. If certain things happen, you know, you're gonna have to face it, you know, and everybody goes through a lot of discomfort, a lot of discomfort. So I'm here on a pony. Like I thought I was not going to need a pony. Yeah. But at some point, I really went through a crisis where I just could not walk anymore. And a bit of a portion of the Cora, I did ride this pony, and it really helped me a lot. So that's yet another thing that I really recommend. It's extra cost, you know. So the Sherpa is the option, pony is the option. It's all on top of the cost that you already covered financially. It is a challenge, but you just don't know how your body is going to feel when you're in this unique situation with hypoxia and this super high energy, certain indescribable presence of a divine presence that you feel at Kailash. So this is like what I definitely wanted to convey. Here's one Google Earth image, you know, so Kailash observed from above. And I wanted to now touch upon some other mysteries of Kailash. So here, the famous south face of Kailash, and we can see this really unusual mountains around, right? So look at that. It's literally there are certain holes, gaps, and it gives you the feeling right here when you look at it that the mountain itself is hollow from inside, right? You can see a crack here. So this is definitely a belief. And I want to say also that this is one of the last areas where you see a bit of green color. So this is when we start walking. The further you go, the green disappears and is nowhere to be found. It all becomes gray and black and white, you know, and you get this feeling, oh my God, you know, I don't feel I'm supposed to be walking here, you know, like it's the place is like intentionally not meant to be for tourists, you know. That's what Mohanji jokes around, like as if the Shiva consciousness intentionally made it unapproachable, tough to handle. So only serious people who really mean it will go there, you know. So here you can say goodbye to the greenery, and then it's all gray, pretty much like this, yeah, uninviting. Yeah. So you are totally not in the mood for photos, and you don't remember social media at all. You are in
Good,
Carrot
good
land.
perspective. I love this perspective. No mood for pictures. That's correct feeling, actually. That's perfect
Yeah.
feeling.
So here I wanted to come a bit closer to examining this south face of Kailash. It is fascinating. What I said, the change that happened in me during the second time when I went. No, actually, yeah, that was the inner Kora time, 2016, is when I came to know about this man, Ernst Muldashev, Dr. Ernst Muldashev, who is an iridologist and a great scientist, very respected in Russia. And he wrote this book, which unfortunately is not available in English from what I can see. So I will have to share a bit of insights from this book. A friend of mine recommended to me, before you go to Kailash, read that book. And I was, oh my God, because this book is really, really fascinating. So in this book, we can see his drawings. Dr. Ernst Muldashev has studied the iris um, of the eyes, and he says that as per his study, as human race, we originate from the Kailash, meaning the first humans would have come from here. But the mountain itself is not a mountain, it's a pyramid. So the name of the book is In Search of the City of Gods in the Areas of Shambhala. This is the translation of the book cover. And here we can see the actual doorway to Shambhala, which, as when you walk, it looks small, doesn't look that big, but he compares it to the size of the Eiffel Tower, right? And he says it's clearly visible that another big rock closed it from inside. So he believes that certain spacecrafts from higher dimensions and higher beings, when they come here, this rock moves and they enter because spacecraft can pass through this door. And only if you know the special password, if you are invited, you will enter through this portal to Shambhala. This is one of the portals to Shambhala. Okay. So this was my experience in 2019 when we went for my third Kailash Yatra. I met Vlada Divac, who is a former NBA star from former Yugoslavia. Everybody knows him. He's like 2 meters tall, as you can see. I'm quite tall as per Indian standards, but he's definitely right there. So we happened to meet right in front of this area. So I said, okay, even though I'm not in the mood, I did take this photo just to mark this special moment because we met exactly there. But I'll just come back to this point here. Now, Dr. Ernst Muldashev says that what is particular about Kailash is that this south face shows this unique two structures. One is the actual Kailash, and the small one on the left we see with the little snow-covered dome, which is called the small Kailash. And he says that this is like goddess and Parvati in the lap of Shiva, you know. So the feminine is kept on the lap, and he says that the most powerful energy of Kailash is right there in the kingdom of the feminine. And this is where you cannot approach close to this area unless your Kundalini is already active, meaning if there's a lot of blockages in your central meridian, if you come close to this area, your nerve endings can burn and you can die. Only those who are invited through or who are already ready, can come closer. Saptarishi cave. Saptarishis were the first 7 great wise men who started the whole journey of the Vedas, right? Some believe they were tall and white and that originated from the Balkan region, by the way, but okay, that's a different story. But from the ancient times, the Saptarishi cave is right near the small Kailash. Dr. Ernst Muldashev also says that this little dome of the small Kailash is always covered with snow. And it's like another small pyramid on top. And inside, what is kept is the most powerful crystal on planet Earth called Shantamani stone, which can influence human mind directly. So if that would ever fall into wrong hands, we would have a serious problem on our planet. Like we would not have our own free will anymore or thinking. We would be completely hypnotized. So that is the most sacred part and is definitely protected. And the edges are so sharp that it's absolutely impossible to climb it. And there are other ways of protecting small Kailash. So this is how he's shown it. So you can see this arrow on top above the small Kailash. And around it, you can see other pyramid structures, ziggurats. You know, ziggurat is the specific like layered pyramid, right? So these are his drawings from the book. This is the close-up. You can now clearly see the ziggurat pyramid, and you can clearly tell it's not a normal shape. Then you can see small Kailash and the big Kailash, right? It's absolutely fascinating. And definitely this south face of Kailash, which you see from Bansarovar Lake, is really fascinating. As I said, we saw Mohanji's face with the glasses and cap. Let's see what you see when you go there, if you do. And this is another drawing of the pyramid complex around Mount Kailash. So it's not just the Mount Kailash, as per Dr. Moldashev. There's so many structures that were built by these high civilizations of someone in the past um, that are built with specific purpose. And it is believed that this is the repository of knowledge. This is the place where the entire history of human race and other races other than human that were present on planet Earth or are present, depending on what one believes, it's all kept there. And there are definitely great masters, yogis, beings of higher consciousness in suspended samadhi state, um, who live in the inner parts of these structures within, which are hollow, and they are guarding it. And this is what was his insight. He said when he spent days there, he could hear sounds from the inside of the pyramid, right? So he could feel and hear that there's some movement inside. Here's another beautiful view from another angle with a bit of sunlight. This really is a fascinating point, and I got so excited, you know. So as I said, you're not in the mood for photography, but that time when I read his book, and then as I walked and I saw this is my photo from my camera. I was like, oh my God, there's the portal to Shambhala. Oh my God, here's this, here's that. So this is this is some other images. On the left, we can see the main mirror of time. And we can see the size again compared to the Eiffel Tower. This is a very weird structure. It's very near to the portal to Shambhala. And on the right side, we see a photograph of a man who reads. On the right is the original, and then on the left, there's a bit of a drawing by graphic design just to show the shapes of the hand. And so Dr. Ernst Moldashev has this story about Lemuria, Atlantis, and then since that days, human beings did not read the way we read now the books. Their telepathy and third eye was just so active that they would just kind of scan with the palm above the book and intake the information through the third eye. And he says that right underneath this stone structure of the man who reads are the actual scrolls or plates or whatever from Lemuria time and beyond. This one is very rare to be seen. It's mainly covered with clouds, so I did not see it. But since I saw the other ones, I tend to believe Dr. Moldashev because I saw the other ones. So you can see the mirror, the main mirror of time. And ta-da, this is my photo of the main mirror of time. So when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. I remembered what he said. He said that time, the feeling of time is skewed here. And this is where you age. So if you, God forbid, decide that you are tired and you want to sit here and take a nap, you will wake up a couple of years older. Most likely, or you will enter into an aging process much faster. So you don't want to pause here, So just for those who are walking, as per Ernst production, you don't want to pause here. So we don't mind going in the opposite direction to become younger, But getting older is not fun, So thanks a lot. So anyhow, this is my photo of the main mirror of time. This is another amazing structure. It's called Atma Lingam. So overall, it's all full of fascinating stuff. And now we come to the topic of the lakes. Now, this is another phenomenon that does not exist anywhere else in the world. So you have these two lakes that are completely opposite to one another. Just a sec. So one is Rakshastal, which is called the lake of the demons, right? They believe it was like Ravana's lake. And the other one is Mansarovar Lake. Rakshastal has like extremely salty water. No plants grow there. Continuously wavy, and you have this jittery feeling when you go there. You feel restless. You feel literally what we would call negative energy. You just don't want to be there. So always wavy, always kind of restless, salty water, unpleasant energy. No herbs or plants or animals. Nothing is there. It's just that water. Now, the thing is that sometimes it just evaporates, and Tibetans have recorded this several times. It's just gone. The lake's gone, and then it comes back, which is,
Never heard of that. I never heard of
yeah,
that.
yes, it happened several times. It just evaporated, then came back. Then another thing is that it's got salty water. Mansarovar has sweet water, right?
Hmm.
And it's mainly very calm, And there you have this beautiful energy, and it's called the Celestial Lake. So there's even a little river that connects So from Mansarovar, some water flows to Rakshastal, but it never becomes less salty. So that's it's just a complete anomaly in terms of any geographic knowledge. Like anything you want to know about water. This is like full of anomalies. It's completely impossible to explain in scientific terms. So that's one of the stories. So it's believed to show the shadow side of yourself and the higher side, right? So that polarity is shown here, which makes sense because we have to integrate the shadow before we reach
Yes.
the crown, right? So this is one beautiful image of that serene color of Mansarovar Lake. It's just jaw dropping. You completely feel like you are in heaven, when you are at this lake. This was one year when I was there. There was a bit of wind, so it wasn't that smooth as usual. But I went to so 4,590 meters is the height. You definitely have high altitude sickness here already, very much so. Uh, but and it is cold, the water. But when you enter with the right attitude, you actually get a chance to cleanse karma of your ancestors, of anyone connected with you. Usually everybody comes with a long list. You take a dip for many friends, many family members. The water is cold, so you better take your dips fast,
That's so funny.
And at some point, you get overwhelmed by that experience of taking a dip, coming out, seeing Kailash. Then again, you take the dip, so the actual vibration of the water, the quality of the water, and Kailash in front of you, it really is an unforgettable experience, most definitely. Okay.
Actually, Mohanji has given a meditation and he mentions all these names and list in there. So for those who have not done the meditation, please do so. You will get that experience without being in Mansarovar.
Yeah, some people told, do you really have to go to a place like this to have these spiritual experiences? Well, of course you don't have to. Like you can sit in your room and anything can happen in your consciousness
Yeah.
because there's no distance in consciousness.
Yes.
So, but having a direct physical experience of a place of power like this really changes something in you. So
Yeah.
it's as I said, it's really up to us to prioritize whether you want to go to some tourist locations or you want to go, if you can. Maybe some people are physically unable to travel or financially totally unable, commitments with family. I totally understand. The truth is, of course, that you don't have to travel anywhere to have spiritual experience of any sort.
Absolutely.
But
But it
this
leaves an
really,
impact. It leaves an impact on your consciousness. It changes you because you had that direct experience, like you said. It
yeah,
really is
yeah,
gives you beautiful memories, and you can visit that place with more power because you have that experience. I've heard that from many
exactly.
people.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever you experience something directly, physically,
Yeah,
through consciousness, when you have your own direct experience, then later on you can always bring it back.
exactly.
Otherwise it's something you're imagining, right? You can also imagine something, but it doesn't have the same
Yeah.
power like when you have a direct experience. So you're definitely gonna have some powerful experiences at
Yeah.
Kailash, and they remain your inner treasure. They remain like tools in your inner space for your awakening, right? For me,
Absolutely.
this was one sacred moment when I was taught by one wonderful saint and astrologer from North India to, in a copper glass, you
Mhm.
hold it above the sun, and then you chant Brahma Swarupa Suryaya Namah, Vishnu Swarupa Suryaya Namaha, and Rudra Swarupa Suryaya Namaha. So that when you chant, you create a powerful protection around you. And then you rotate clockwise, Om Suryaya Namaha, and chanting that, you rotate clockwise 7 times, feeling the brightness of the sun on your forehead, then on the bindu on the back of the head. So I decided to do this at Mansarovar Lake, and it was really beautiful. I just remember feeling something special under my feet. It really felt like a giant snake. That was so. That's yet another. Many stories are there about Kailash and Mansarovar, but it really you feel like you're not on Earth when you're in this place. It's totally celestial, and
And you were speaking, I'm feeling that energy. I don't know. Just something is happening when you said all that. It was like I felt this wave of something come over me. So you must share this with all the participants this year so they can also do this when they are physically there.
yeah, I'm happy to share anything. Yeah, the whole point is that when we go as a group and we align
Yeah.
in our intention, we connect to the Guru
Yeah.
Tattva, we get
It's
the
peaceful.
blessings, and
Yeah.
then we just go as a group. A huge connection happens between the
Yeah.
people who walk
Yeah.
the yatra. You become like just like you graduate from high school with someone and you remain
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah.
This is the Kailash connection,
Yeah.
the bond. So we'll
Yeah.
definitely all have something to contribute to the group, and we will all share our insights and stories. This shows that the when you enter Mansarovar Lake, it's not deep right away. So you walk. See, I can see my friend Spomenka here, and yeah. So anyway, you come to a point where it's deeper, and then you start taking the dips. Now, I wanted to share one of the most profound experiences of my life. This happened unexpectedly. Um, that was the first year, 2014, when we went into the Mansarovar Lake. I took all those dips for my family members, and then when I turned around, I realized that people were taking dips and touching Mohanji's feet in the water, and he was in the water for quite a long time with all this. At some point, he started to like shiver because it is cold, right? And at one point, I finished with the dips, and I suddenly had a strong impulse that I would like to touch his feet. But it was not just like, oh, I would like to touch his feet. No, it was like, I have to do it, right? It just came. So then I shouted to my friend Spomenka, who was closer to Monji, tell him to wait, I'm coming. And I tried to walk through the water and I came closer. And that's when this experience happened. Now, miracle number one is that Sumit, one of Monji's devotees at the time, he had a mobile phone, which like nobody has a phone, in the lake. He had a phone and he took this photo. And I'm very grateful because it shows on my forehead the imprint of the symbol of Shiva, which represents the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, right? So you can see it on the drawing in the middle. And that came as if somebody just put the imprint on the skin.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
it's completely visible. And secondly, when I came and I took a dive in and I touched Monji's feet, and then I came out, he threw water on me as a blessing, right? And when that water fell on my face, it felt like it came from the top of the mountain. There was a huge force in this water falling on my head. That's why I'm crying. You can see it. I felt like something was peeled off of my face, and then another one, again peeled off, and then the third one. So this was a very powerful moment. At that time, Mohanji was in a completely expanded state of consciousness, and I really don't have words to explain what happened here. I just know that there was a lady in Croatia connected to Sai Baba who meditated at that time, and she saw the scene, and she also saw that the portal opened, and through Mohanji holding that portal opened, so many souls came through to get liberated. And then there were these opposite forces that were revenging on Mohanji, and then he had a attack. Some dark energies attacked him through some people through defamation. So he was accused of some silly things, and it felt very, very unpleasant. It was a painful experience for us as a family. So um, at that time, late 2014, early 2015, somewhere there, we separated in the sense that daughter Mila and I, we moved to Serbia, and he stayed in India. To face this whole situation. So luckily he went through it. Everything was fine in the end. But yeah, these are the certain moments when
Memories,
you get,
memories you have.
yeah, you get huge, opportunities for growth. You have
Yeah.
some huge events in consciousness, but you also have repercussions, right?
Yeah.
So in Mohanji's realm, he lives in a different way than people who have their karmic agenda. So in his case, this was one of the turning points in his life, and definitely something that all of us learned from. But this image stayed with me, and whenever I think about this experience, I'm really in awe of um, transcendental power of this location because
And the
the,
master, and what it means to go with him, because you would not have had this blasting of the water and the removal of the gunas or whatever that was removed without this blessing. This is
yeah.
what is the beauty of going with a master, and people, we need to convey this to people, and I think I'm really happy you shared this because
But you see, I almost missed it, right? He was about to
yeah,
leave the lake, right?
exactly.
So
You
that's
have to
the
run after him to get what you want. Sometimes when you're too lax, so you just sometimes you have to run after it and get it and be with him physically and make it happen for yourself. It's the
Yeah, because
conviction.
especially at locations like this, he will not be a human being. He will completely enliven that consciousness dimension of his. He will be in an
Right.
expanded state, and then through somebody who's physically present, you get to connect the dots, and many things
Exactly.
that wouldn't have happened can happen.
Exactly.
So that's why going to a place of power like this with a spiritual master is something that cannot be compared to anything else, right? So
Right.
Mohanji will be with us this year as well at Mansarovar, full moon time. This will be the full moon in Pisces, which is ideal for spiritual elevation, spiritual experiences, and cleansing, mysticism, spirituality, the dissolution of ego boundaries. This is the Pisces, right? So full moon in Pisces is really a big deal. And as per the Indian astrology, it's called Shravan, Shravan Purnima. So as per the Hindu lunar calendar, and this is considered the holiest month of the year, Shravan, for devotees of Shiva. So, right, being at Kailash or Mansarovar, we will have two groups. Full moon one will be at the west face of Kailash, right? And the other one will be, is it west or north?
No, north face, north face.
North. So one group will be at the north face of Kailash and the other will be at Mansarovar. So
Yes.
both, it's difficult to decide which one is better. It's really tough. So that will be our main. Should I go for this one or that one? Because both are amazing. Like really, both are amazing. So it's believed that this full moon at the month of Shravan will actually amplify greatly any purification and spiritual practice. It's like huge amplification, right? So,
And it's Devkum, so it's extra boom power to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So Devakum, for those who don't know, is happens every 12 years. And this is my first experience of Kailash was the Devakum 2014, and now this will be the second one. It really is the most amazing time to go to Kailash because it's considered that this one kora for 3 days that you walk around Kailash is equal to 12, right? So then you are qualified to go for the inner kora. Okay. At Mansarovar Lake, you can see the golden ducks. Not everybody sees them. It is believed that if you have the blessing of spiritual liberation in this lifetime, that somehow you will get to see them. They are not there all the time. They just suddenly appear. So this was a big moment to see the golden ducks. Here's one beautiful example of the great masters and yogis that you get to meet during Kailash Yatra. And you can see the eyes, the glow in the eyes, I'm also like glowing big time in that presence. And I remember the beautiful conversation that we had and how he explained that he needs to travel nowhere. He doesn't travel anywhere and he's present with his consciousness everywhere and he's fully contented and he needs nothing from the outside world. It's just so beautiful to hear, and the way he said it, the way that flowed. It's very, very inspiring that us as human beings can reach that state. Here's an example of Tibetans that you get to meet at this resting points where we stop a little bit for warm tea. This was 2014 when I still had long hair, but I liked their faces and their eyes are so full of softness and compassion. You can see that I really like the Tibetans. They're wonderful people. Here are two moments. One is I did make it one yoga pose. I was like, oh, even if I die, I'll make this one. Yoga moment. And the other one is at the Mansarovar Lake. There's Buddhist monastery on a small hilltop dedicated to Milarepa. This is where we lit some oil candles. It's very beautiful energy there. Yeah, ups. So now we come to another fascinating experience at Kailash Yatra. This is the jewel, turquoise colored jewel called Gauri Kund, the lake of Gauri or Parvati. It is believed that Lord Shiva created this lake only for Goddess Parvati to bathe in. So it has the energy of the mother, divine mother, right? And it really is completely different than Mansarovar. Both are celestial, but there's a special note to this water. And it comes with a big test. So this is how it looks. It's very difficult to walk there. There is no path, only these big rocks. Some of them are like up to the height of your navel. You have to really lift your leg high. if there was a bit of rain or drizzle, which happens very often when you walk the yatra, there's a bit of sun, then a bit of drizzle, then a bit of sun, then again a bit of rain. So if the rocks are wet, you can actually slip and harm yourself. Like you can harm your genitals or break a hip, God forbid, or ankle. So you really have to walk carefully. And it's even tricky when you go down, you want to speed up and then you can really fall. You have to be like really careful every step. And I wanted to convey just how tough it is to make any extra effort during Kailash Yatra. So right now we breathe normal air, we don't have hypoxia, right? But when you walk, you're barely walking and breathing, right? The moment you make a bit of effort, like lifting your leg, you have to then pause and do like, and you really come to a point of facing the fear of death because we are not aware how sensitive we are to not having the air, right? So you can go without food, water for at least a couple of days, but air is like you really
Yeah,
start to
absolutely.
feel jittery, yeah, because you're lacking the oxygen, and then this whole route towards Gaurekund goes in the opposite direction from where you're supposed to go. So by the way, this appears. I'll just show it. This is the view when you come. You climb the most difficult part, the Dolma Pass, which is like a serpentine, kind of walking up endlessly, and people cry and walk. It's just so tough to climb it, And finally, you climb it, and then you're supposed to go left and down the hill, which
Yeah.
is a bit easier. But no, on the right side is this view, and you're like, oh, I want to go, but it's not on the way. So you go in the opposite direction, and plus you have to go all the way down this unpleasant rocks, which are obviously there to deter you. Like you're not supposed to go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But for me, the feeling was like I have, even if I die, I'm gonna go there. That I made this decision, So that was it. So I went, and for me, this was like the most amazing experience. Like I actually, when I drank that water, I put a bit on my crown and then my mouth. Then I had an offering that Sumit gave me from Vaishno Devi temple, beautiful temple dedicated to Divine Mother. So very sacred offering, and that moment of connecting with Divine Mother's energy, for me that was worth, even if I don't survive, that's it. But for me that was the highlight of my experience. I can't find the words to explain just how powerful it was to swallow that water, to be in that energy. And after I swallowed the water, I could feel it passing through my throat, that cooling, fresh, like the freshest spring water you can imagine, times thousand. The freshness and the
Hmm.
purity of that water was beyond anything that I could imagine. And the way it flowed through my throat all the way down to my stomach, and I felt it in my womb as well. I
Oh,
remember. Yeah, it's
amazing.
really sacred feminine energy. And then at some point I had to continue walking, so I started to climb back. That's when this moment happened. You can see me, that's me in that pink, red, whatever the color that is. So I started climbing, and at some point I just couldn't continue. It was too difficult. I had no energy, no strength, and I felt that the squeeze in my lungs was so strong. I just couldn't get the air. And I have to stop every 10 seconds and take I don't know how many breaths, and then the moment I take another step, then again I have to stop. And at some point it felt like torture, and there was this huge flood of negative thoughts, like I was not going to make it. And then suddenly there was like I felt on my face some drops. There was a bit of a drizzle, like a rain. And then I like looked up, and I felt like Divine Mother heard my prayers and my suffering. And when I lifted my head, it opened. I was just like, right.
Lungs
So
opened
that
up.
constricted inhalation, and suddenly alveoles opened, like something in my chest opened.
Mm.
And I started breathing normally, and that was really a miracle. It just doesn't happen. And then I climbed like easily, and I continued the rest of the yatra very joyous, very, very light, very grateful. And I remember another friend who was climbing Dolma Pass at that time. She said that at the time when these raindrops, the same thing when it happened for her, it was the opposite. She was like suffering and suffering and climbing and falling apart. And then when this rain happened, she was like, oh, this on top of everything, like this is too much. I can't bear it. So her mind interpreted it as the overwhelm, the negative.
Mm.
And for
Mm.
me, it was the sign of blessing, right? So
Mm.
that
Mm.
tells you that how you approach
Perceive.
Kailash
Yeah.
and how you perceive things,
Mm.
actually makes a big difference.
Right.
So we need to find the power to be grateful for small moments because gratitude opens the doors for spiritual experience. The key ingredient is gratitude. So if you're continuously thanking and thanking and thanking the divine, you can call it different names as per your religion, your spiritual path. It doesn't matter really. Different mantras can be used, different prayers. Everybody should decide for themselves. But the key point is to enter the energy of gratitude and surrender and allow that divine grace to overtake your body. That's how you start walking like those two. There were two grandmas, older women from Australia, who just walked past this bodybuilder that was showing off. And in the end, he was like crying like a baby and couldn't continue. And these two grandmas were just going, tun, 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 and that was the scene that was really symbolic because in their mind, they were just going one step at a time, and it's a powerful lesson for all of us in life. So that's one of the key lessons of Kailash as well. Okay, so I just want to show some cute faces of Tibetan children. When you meet them, they are so cute. Like you want to hug and hold each one of them. I want to say also that the presence of masters is felt very strongly. Like even if you don't meditate much, if you're just attentive and you just walk and you're present, you can feel like mighty auras present. And you can see these little holes, as I said, like the inside is hollow. There are a lot of caves and inner empty spaces. And that's where Dr. Ernest Muldashev says that it's a repository of knowledge, that there are all these cave structures. And it is believed that the city of gods, the Shambhala, is underneath the Kailash, right? So last year in 2025, the Tibetan lamas revealed some of their scriptures that explain more about this city of gods, right? So it says that it doesn't exist on the physical plane, but because Kailash is not just the crown chakra on Earth, but it's also considered the axis mundi, right? The very pillar of consciousness, the center of the Earth, or that multi-dimensional kind of vertical axis. It creates a bridge between dimensions. So that's what's special about Kailash. That's why it is possible to have a higher dimension kind of bubble, you could say, existence beneath, below, or inside Kailash. And that's what you feel, certain note of high energy presence coming kind of like hue of energy from these little openings as you walk at the Kora. Here are some moments from the inner Kora. I wanted to just mention about the Sherpas, they are these coolest dudes, the Tibetans. And they usually just they carry your backpack. You can see my pink backpack. And at some point they just disappear. They lie down, have a cigarette, chill. While we are going through a and falling apart, they're just walking around. And sometimes they disappear, then they reappear again. This was a point during the inner Kora when we had a really tough moment and we climbed using the ropes. It was super, super tough. I really don't want to repeat that experience. It was like too tough to bear. And at some point, we came to some area on top after I don't know how many hours of climbing, completely exhausted. So I asked him, how much more do we walk? How many more hours? And he pointed like this. So I thought
Oh,
2 more hours. And in the end, it was 8 hours more.
no.
Oh my God. It was just horrible. So I remember some people were just, one of the swamis from Skandavel, he has that knuckle, when your big toe goes sideways, and he had a huge blister on the knuckle, and that blister started to bleed, and he couldn't walk anymore. And like, we don't know the state of our feet after, like, I don't know, 13, 14 hours of walking on this kind of surface. It's just unimaginably tough, very tough. So this guy
Luckily,
was there.
most of us won't be doing that this year, so it's okay.
Oh,
Most of us
inner
won't be
Kora
doing.
is really next
Yeah,
level. So outer Kora is already enough.
yeah,
Trust me.
yeah. Exactly, exactly.
We all of us who went for inner Kora, we agreed, like, I think this is a once in a lifetime. Like, you
Yeah.
can repeat Kailash Yatra, but not the inner Kora. It's like, if you survived it, you survived it. That's it. Okay, so these are the happy faces, all puffed, and like, from high altitude sickness, you get all puffed. So look at us. This
All
was
the inner Kora survivors.
the inner Kora survivors. We look like we survived some Holocaust or something. Yeah,
Yes,
but
yes, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
we are actually smiling that it's over. Otherwise we wouldn't be smiling. Okay, so that was about it. This is one beautiful cave where there's a footprint of Shiva. Only a couple of us were able to go there because we had to go by helicopter. But you can see just above my head little scales resembling a snake. The absolutely surreal cave. Many such locations are there. But overall, I wanted to thank everyone for the attention. We wanted to make this, if possible, less than 1 hour, but it's just very difficult to speak about Kailash. And um,
The pictures
uh,
definitely help because it gives people the perspective of because see last year 2025 we went to a place where I can't remember the name right now. Very bad with memory lately. The one lady said to me, Bhavani, look, that's the small Kailash Devi ji spoke about. See, to me, I was not aware of that. But somebody had watched or some interview of yours and she was able to identify that small Kailash like you spoke of because you had spoken and she was able to tell us. So these pictures definitely help. I think it's going to be a great help for people who are going this time and to connect deeply and
yeah,
any
I
experience
think this
coming.
information
Yeah.
should be out in the ether online. And I noticed that one Indian lady used my testimonial about the celestial beings that I saw at the Lake Mansarovar, and she quoted Devi Mohan. I was surprised at how. So
Oh,
she did her
wow.
research. I think she found my blog. So maybe I'll end with that experience. It happened only once during the Deva Kumbh year 2014. And it is my prayer and hope that it happens again this year. I made sure with the Yatra organizers that we will have a chance to sleep at the Mansarovar Lake, because the last time we went, we didn't sleep there, so there was no opportunity to go. So celestial beings take a dip at the celestial lake Mansarovar at Brahma Muhurta time, which is between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. So we were there, Ami from South Africa and I, around 3:30 in the morning, and both of us felt the pull to go there to the lake, and we were just chanting and praying, and we were in this beautiful space when suddenly we saw literally, like, when you see twinkling stars on the sky. I mean, sky is full of stars, especially there. It's very clear. But then some stars are more strong, like, for example, Venus, right? You can see Venus more strong, the northern star. So similar like that, one of the stars that was looking more bright suddenly started to move. And it literally moved like this, a little bit this way, that way. So it wasn't like straight down or fast. It was going slow, and then it gently started to change colors. So
Hmm.
mild pink, mild yellow, mild green, and we were like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And I was just like in awe of the experience. And then you get to feel the energy. in your chakras, especially the heart. For me, the heart chakra responded most strongly to this energy. And we were literally not breathing, we were watching. And then it came to the surface of the lake and just went inside the water. And after 3-4 seconds, it started moving up. Now, moving up somehow is even more miraculous because nothing ever moves up from the lake, right?
Yeah.
And so as it's moving like that, at some point it kind of comes a bit closer to you, and then your heart starts to race, then it starts to move away. So it doesn't have any shape, but it's definitely an orb. It's like a circular shape. So some people like Sal Rakele, for example, he's famous around the globe. He says that the beings that go fifth dimension and higher no longer have physical bodies or appear in physical terms. They appear as orbs, but very
Mm.
bright orbs. So that's what
Mm.
these were. Very bright
Mm.
orbs, very high energy, very high, completely celestial, completely higher dimensional. And we saw 2 or 3 of those. And then after all that, we felt like, out of compassion, we felt like telling people somebody else should know about this. There was nobody else. So we ran to the accommodation nearby and we woke up some people. If you want to see celestial beings, come to the lake right now. The celestial beings are taking a dip. So we managed to get, like, most of them were like sleepy, they were just knocked off, and some of them decided to come. It was a bit cold because the wind was blowing, and then when they came, we stood there for like half an hour, almost 1 hour, nothing. They just wouldn't come.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
think only who are meant to see will get it.
but they were
Only who are
so
meant to. Yeah.
disappointed. And I honestly, Ami and I, we felt so bad because they almost didn't believe us,
Yeah.
So they went back. Only one girl, German girl, stayed. And then she decided, okay, let's go back. I also said, okay, we'll give up now. It's already been more than 1 hour. So we start walking, and I'll never forget that same sensation that I still remember happened in the heart chakra. It happened from the back, you know. And then I stopped,
Wow.
and then I
Interesting.
turned around, and there they are. Oh my God, I was so happy. So 3 of us got to see it again, and there was this huge feeling of gratitude. It meant a lot that they came again, because somewhere at some point our mind is very doubtful, right? So we need these affirmations. We need the proof. So for me, I was taught by this experience to trust the inner feeling. So it wasn't like I had a vision. It was, I could feel. You can actually feel it in your body. So while you're at Kailash and Mansarovar, um, advice number one is be fully present. Just feel, as Margie says, feel Kailash, be in the space of gratitude, and don't have expectation. Just be open for wonders. And then when you come home, you will be so full of impressions that everybody will be bored of you. You'll just keep on talking about Kailash. People are like, "Will you stop?" We all get that. Like, is there something
Or
else
you'll
to
be
talk about?
silent. Or you will be silent.
So that's one side of
Yeah.
it, but that will happen only after some time. First, you will be, as you said, silent. So you will feel like
Yes.
being in the witness mode. Like I felt like sitting by the river and just watching the river pass, and then closing my eyes and being in that witness mode, and feeling so emptied from within. And then you can start to connect with that inner witness much more. You can realize that from that emptiness, you can manifest something much greater than what you had. So it's like cleaning up your room, removing all the extra clutter, and then you have whole new sacred space from within now to create yourself anew. You can become a completely different person with Kailash now. Dr. Ernst Muldashev said that the beings who made all these pyramids and structures exactly at the Kora that we walk, that he believes that it was made. You pass through different types of energies. The one where you age is only one of them, but that he says that there are different types. So the Kora is intentional, and you pass through these different energies, and that's why stuff is squeezed out of you. So you go through cleansing, you go through emptying, and then you get, it's enough to get that one miraculous moment, for the awe of divine experience in the body to happen. And that's the blessing of Kailash, then because we don't know what is this awakening, how does that look like? These are all concepts in the mind, and you can't get there from the mind. That's the whole
No.
point. We all know that we are meant to enter the space between the two thoughts, the space between the two breaths, right? So Kailash will bring you to that presence of the present moment. It will strengthen the inner witness. It will create that emptiness from within. And that's where you will open the doors, for the ultimate experience, which can only happen as per divine will, right? We can only prepare the ground. So anyhow, I hope that I inspired you. If you were, I had one couple that came in Serbia during my presentation, and the man was having a bit of a knee issue, so he was worried. It's not
Mm.
severe, but I'm
Mm.
afraid. And I said, like, many things can happen with your health, but we have seen people who were just in that emptiness, surrendered, and gratitude, and then they were amazed by their body. Elderly people, you know, elderly people mainly have something with the bones and the joints, and nobody is like fully healthy. But if you observe from that point of view, what if, then you're not meant to go there because your mind will take you
Absolutely.
further.
Absolutely. That's the very important lesson. And I wish that people imbibe what you said. Just let go. Just be.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
be open for
Yeah.
the experience of divine in a human body, for the
Mhm.
wonder of life, for experience of that vertical pillar that Kailash is. I personally do feel and believe that it is multidimensional. It is not just a mountain, you know. It has all the sacred qualities. You can see the imprints of Shiva's face, Om, swastika, this, that, all these facts about Kailash are just too much to be a coincidence. You're gonna have a coincidence once or twice, but there's like a bit too many of a coincidences. It's definitely one of the most sacred places on earth,
Faces on
and
earth. Yeah.
I feel everyone should, at least once in a lifetime, we should visit that place. So if you decide to go this year, maybe we meet there somewhere in that sacred energy.
I hope so. I hope so.
And we
I hope.
don't know whether Mohanji will go again. That's another point. So this is really rare to Mohanji will be at the Monster River Lake. He will give that initial impetus. He has this unique way of inspiring people at the very onset of the yatra. So that really gives you like the wind in your wings, literally, to go for it fully. So
I'm looking
I
forward to
truly
that, Devi Ji. I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't been in Mansarovar with Mohanji since 2017. So this is after 9 years for me.
wow.
It's a big deal
Yeah.
for me.
For me,
I'm
it's
very,
special
very,
because
yeah.
yeah, 2014 is when I went last. That was the first time I was leaving our daughter Mila to Mohanji's parents and Feroz, and I left her for the first time and went for the yatra. And now, 12 years
So she's
later,
coming. She's
she's a
coming with you. Yeah.
teenager and she's coming. So it's like a full circle with
Yeah.
the yatra, And when your child goes, it's a special
Yeah.
feeling. I just want to be there for her too,
Yeah.
and I want to take joy in seeing her expand her horizons.
Yeah.
Seeing what else is possible. That's a beautiful
Oh,
question.
that makes me feel so happy. Just hearing that.
Yes, yes.
No, really, I'm really happy with, many kids are coming this year. So I'm really grateful for all the kids who are attempting to come because this is a very special place. And I think they all, like you said, it will be a new opening for them at such a tender
Yeah.
age. So,
Exactly. At that age, it will give them a whole new perspective,
yeah.
and it actually can completely set
Yep.
them on a different timeline. Where
Yes.
because we experience reality as per what we radiate. We all know that. So once your energy blueprint changes, like something clicks in your own
Yeah.
consciousness, your life changes. It's like that. It's very simple. So definitely for children, this is a huge thing, it will change their life. So thank you for the attention. I hope we conveyed something interesting and important. And yeah, remain inspired, connected, be in the space of gratitude, and let us all celebrate the blessing of being alive.
Thank you, Stevie G. Thank you for coming back to us and sharing this beautiful insights. I love Kailash, and hearing about it never bores me. I can hear about this, talk about this all the time, and I really hope what you shared truly inspires new people to see this place from a different perspective and connect deeply, so they can also have a new birth like you did back in 2016 or 14. I don't know what year was it. You got new life, and
40.
I've got new life from Kailash. So all of us deserve that to the completion and dissolution. So thank
Yes.
you. Thank you all for joining. And if you like this, please share with your friends and family. And yeah, looking forward to having you in Kathmandu. We'll see you in 2 months. Thank you. Om Namah Shivaya. Bye.
Bye. I'm not sure.
Uh,